Today, we'll explore 15 types of foods, including 3 common vegetables that warrant some attention if you're experiencing foot numbness or tingling. Hello and welcome to Golden Vitality. I'm Rifa, and today we're addressing a common and often bothersome issue for many seniors: numbness or tingling sensations in the feet. Have you ever experienced that pins and needles feeling, or perhaps a sense of heaviness or swelling, especially upon waking or after certain activities? While there can be various underlying medical reasons for these sensations that absolutely require discussion with your doctor, like nerve issues, circulation problems, or diabetes, it's also worth exploring how our diet might play a role. Interestingly, some foods, even ones we might consider generally healthy, contain components that could potentially contribute to or worsen these symptoms for certain individuals. This might be due to their effects on inflammation, circulation, fluid balance, or nerve function. Today, we'll explore 15 types of foods, including 3 common vegetables that warrant some attention if you're experiencing foot numbness or tingling. Our aim isn't to create fear, but to raise awareness about potential dietary factors and empower you to make informed choices. Please remember, this information is for general knowledge and should not replace medical advice. If you're concerned about foot numbness, consulting your healthcare provider is essential. And if you find value in understanding these dietary connections, please give this video a like and subscribe to Golden Vitality, dietary factors that may influence foot numbness and tingling. Let's examine some common foods and food components that could potentially influence circulation and nerve health, possibly exacerbating numbness or tingling in the feet for sensitive individuals. Bacon. A breakfast favorite, bacon is very high in saturated fat and sodium. High sodium intake contributes to fluid retention, which can increase pressure within blood vessels and potentially hinder circulation to the extremities. Saturated fats can negatively impact cholesterol levels and contribute to inflammation, both of which can affect vascular health over time. Frequent consumption might aggravate existing circulation issues. Healthier swap. Consider leaner protein sources like turkey bacon, check sodium content, Canadian bacon, or plant-based options in moderation. Processed hamburgers, pre-made, or fast food burgers often contain high levels of saturated and sometimes trans fats, sodium, and various chemical additives and preservatives. Trans fats are particularly detrimental to vascular health, raising bad cholesterol, LDL, and lowering good cholesterol, HDL. Additives can contribute to systemic inflammation, which can negatively impact both circulation and nerve health. Healthier swap. Opt for homemade burgers using lean ground meat, turkey, chicken, or lean beef, and season them yourself to control sodium and avoid additives. Frozen pizza. Convenient but often loaded with sodium. From sauce, cheese, processed meats and crust. Saturated fats, especially in cheese and meat toppings, and preservatives. The high sodium content is a primary concern for fluid retention and blood pressure, potentially worsening swelling and impairing circulation to the feet. Healthier swap. Making pizza at home allows control over ingredients. Use whole wheat. Crust, low-sodium sauce, reduced fat cheese, lean proteins, and plenty of vegetables. Instant soups. These convenient packets are notorious for their extremely high sodium content, often exceeding daily recommendations in a single serving. This massive salt load triggers significant fluid retention, leading to swelling in extremities and putting pressure on blood vessels, which can worsen numbness and tingling. They also tend to be low in overall nutritional value and contain various additives. Healthier swap. Choose low-sodium canned soups, or better yet, make homemade soups where you control the salt and boost vegetable content. Commercial cakes and mixes. These sweet treats rely heavily on refined sugars and often hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated fats, sources of trans fats. High sugar intake causes blood glucose spikes, which over time can damage blood vessel linings and impair circulation. Sugar can also contribute to inflammation, potentially irritating nerves. Unhealthy fats negatively impact cholesterol and vascular health. Healthier swap: bake at home using whole grain flours, natural sweeteners in moderation, like fruit, purees or maple syrup, and healthier fats, like olive oil, avocado oil, or applesauce. 10. Commercially produced French fries, often fried in unhealthy, potentially reused oils, creating trans fats and oxidized compounds, and heavily salted, commercial fries are problematic. The unhealthy fats promote inflammation and poor vascular health. The high sodium contributes to fluid retention and swelling. Healthier swap: bake potato wedges at home using minimal healthy oil, like olive or avocado oil, and season with herbs and spices instead of excess salt. Air frying is another good option. Candies and processed sweets: these are concentrated sources of refined sugars and often contain artificial colors, flavors, and additives. The rapid sugar spike negatively impacts blood vessel health and promotes inflammation. Additives can also contribute to systemic inflammation, potentially affecting nerve function. Healthier swap: choose whole fruits, dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher in moderation, or homemade treats with controlled sugar content. Sodas, regular and diet. Regular soda: the primary issue is the massive amount of refined sugar, leading to blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and potential long-term damage to blood vessels, impairing circulation. Diet soda: while calorie-free, artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose are controversial. Some research suggests they might contribute to inflammation, negatively impact gut health, which influences overall inflammation, or potentially affect nerve function in sensitive individuals. They may also disrupt the body's natural metabolic signaling. Healthier swap: water, sparkling water with a splash of juice, herbal teas, or green tea are much better choices for hydration and overall health. Beer, excessive alcohol. While moderate alcohol intake might have complex effects, excessive consumption negatively impacts nerve health and circulation. Nerve damage: alcohol can be directly toxic to peripheral nerves over time, leading to alcoholic neuropathy, characterized by numbness, tingling, pain, and weakness, especially in the feet and legs. Circulation and dehydration: alcohol causes initial vasodilation, widening of blood vessels, followed by constriction, potentially impairing blood flow. It also acts as a diuretic, leading to dehydration, which thickens the blood and further hampers circulation. Blood sugar: beer contains carbohydrates that can impact blood sugar levels. Healthier approach: moderation is key. If you drink, stay well hydrated by alternating alcoholic beverages with water. Consider non-alcoholic alternatives. Milk chocolate: unlike its dark counterpart, milk chocolate typically contains much higher amounts of sugar and often more saturated fat, with fewer beneficial cocoa flavonols. The high sugar content contributes to blood sugar spikes and inflammation, while excessive saturated fat can negatively impact cholesterol levels. Healthier swap: opt for dark chocolate with a high cacao percentage, 70% plus, in moderation to get antioxidant benefits with less sugar and unhealthy fat. White bread and refined grains: products like white bread, baguettes, regular pasta, and white rice are made from flour that has had the fiber-rich bran and nutrient-packed germ removed. Impact: they digest quickly, converting rapidly to sugar in the bloodstream, causing blood sugar spikes similar to eating processed sugar. This contributes to inflammation and poor vascular health. The lack of fiber also negatively impacts digestion and blood sugar control. Healthier swap. Choose 100% whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, oats, barley, and whole wheat pasta. The fiber slows sugar absorption, supports digestion, and provides more sustained energy. Commercial ice creams, often high in refined sugars, unhealthy fats, saturated and sometimes trans fats, and artificial additives. The combination impacts blood sugar, promotes inflammation, contributes to unhealthy cholesterol levels, and offers little nutritional value. The cold temperature can also cause temporary vasoconstriction. Healthier swap. Look for ice creams with simpler ingredients and less sugar, enjoy smaller portions, or make homemade nice cream by blending frozen bananas with other fruits or a splash of milk. Fruit sorbets, check sugar content, can also be an option. Now, regarding vegetables. It's crucial to preface this by saying that vegetables are overwhelmingly beneficial and form the cornerstone of a healthy diet. However, certain compounds in some vegetables might pose issues for specific individuals or when consumed in very large quantities. Spinach and Swiss chard, similar profile. Potential issue, specific context. Both are very high in oxalates. In sensitive individuals, particularly those prone to certain types of kidney stones, high oxalate intake can contribute to stone formation. Oxalates can also bind with calcium, potentially slightly reducing its absorption from that meal. The original texts claim that oxalates directly impede circulation, causing numbness, is not well supported for the general population. The primary concern is kidney stones in susceptible people. They're also high in vitamin K. This is not a problem for most people, but for individuals taking warfarin, Coumadin, large fluctuations in vitamin K intake can interfere with the medication's effectiveness. Consistency in intake is key for those on warfarin, requiring discussion with their doctor. Reassurance. Spinach and chard are incredibly nutritious, rich in iron, magnesium, vitamins A and C. Cooking significantly reduces oxalate content. For most people, including these greens as part of a varied diet, is highly beneficial. Moderation and variety are sensible for everyone. Broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables. Potential issue, specific context. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, posing the same consideration for those on warfarin as spinach, need for consistent intake, and doctor communication. It also contains goitrogens, compounds that in very large raw quantities could potentially interfere with thyroid function, primarily in individuals with existing iodine deficiency or thyroid conditions. Cooking largely inactivates goitrogens. The link to worsening foot numbness for the general population is tenuous and not a primary concern associated with moderate broccoli consumption. Reassurance. Broccoli is a nutritional powerhouse, fiber, vitamin C, sulforaphane. For the vast majority of people, its benefits far outweigh any theoretical risks when consumed cooked and as part of a varied diet. Swiss chard. Covered largely with spinach due to similar oxalate and vitamin K profile. Reiterate that its highly nutritious but high oxalate vitamin K content warrants moderation and consistency, especially for susceptible individuals or those on warfarin. Key takeaway on vegetables. For the overwhelming majority of seniors, spinach, broccoli, and Swiss chard are exceptionally healthy foods. The potential concerns related to oxalates, vitamin K, or goitrogens apply primarily to specific health conditions, kidney stone history, warfarin use, thyroid issues, or potentially excessive consumption. Emphasize variety in vegetable intake and consult a doctor if you have specific conditions or are on medications like warfarin. Do not avoid these healthy vegetables based on generalized fear. Understanding how different foods might influence symptoms like foot numbness or tingling allows us to make more personalized dietary choices. While factors like high sodium, unhealthy fats, and refined sugars are more broadly problematic for circulation and inflammation, even healthy foods like certain vegetables require context, especially if you have specific health conditions or take certain medications. The most important step is always to discuss persistent numbness or tingling with your doctor to identify the underlying cause. From a dietary perspective, focusing on a balanced whole foods diet low in processed items, managing sodium and sugar intake, choosing healthy fats, and ensuring adequate hydration forms a strong foundation for supporting circulatory and nerve health. Remember, moderation and variety are often key. What dietary change feels most manageable for you to consider? Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. If this discussion provided clarity, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Golden Vitality for more balanced health information, and share it with others who might find it helpful. Thank you for watching, stay informed, and be well.